everybody, to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. Another Wednesday, another podcast episode. I'm joined today with my co-host, Deception Rapper. Deception, say hi.
What's up?
My name's ToNaGeScorp, if you guys didn't know. Deception, what did you call it before the podcast?
Another episode of Tone Can't English?
Literally. That's what it is. And I haven't been able to English all day, so this is going to be interesting. And, quick thing, I did use the bathroom before the podcast today, so hopefully no bathroom breaks. I'm not drinking anything during the podcast again, so that usually helps.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
So let's see if I can make it through without having to go to the bathroom. We'll have to wait and see on that one, though. Alrighty, welcome back. If you guys are listening, if you're live on Twitch. If you guys aren't, we go live on Twitch every Wednesday at 12 p.m. EST with the podcast, so we can have a live chat and, you know, little fun things. And if you're listening on other platforms, we appreciate you. This podcast is live on every platform where you get your podcasts. So if you're listening here live and you missed part of it because you have to go use the bathroom or you have to go to work or whatever the case may be, you can find it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere else.
Yeah, literally everywhere, even places we didn't know existed.
Even places we didn't know existed. Yeah, here we are. So, and I'm getting caught up as far as uploading them, so they should be all available here before the next episode, which today's the 18th podcast episode, so before the 19th, they should be all good.
We're almost at 20.
Key term. Almost at 20? Shoot, man, look at us. Oh, man. Almost 20 episodes of the Climb Together podcast.
It seems like yesterday we were celebrating double digits.
I know. It seems like yesterday we just started, and now here we are, like, it's like a weekly occurrence, and you know, it's pretty much the only stream.
We've only missed 1 week the entire time.
Yeah, and that's because
we were more consistent than the Flycast already.
True, and look at that.
Because the Flycast did like 6 episodes and then took like 6 months off.
Literally. So it's another reason for you guys to, you know, hang out with the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Another reason for you guys to tune in. Yeah. Oh, I'm sounding crisp today too. I like it.
You are.
Sounding very crisp. I like it.
Mic quality is at its peak.
Oh yeah, that means quality of the podcast is gonna be at its peak. I like hearing myself talk, and I sound very good right now. So.
Wow.
You know, I like hearing Deception talk too. Yo, Yang, thanks for sliding in.
Let's see. What do we want to lead off with?
I don't know. There's a lot that's gone on. There's one thing that I did see this morning. I think I kind of want to talk on it. We kind of touched on it a little bit. It was a Mr. Burner question, related to the Midnight Society.
Yeah, I saw
the Dr. Disrespect.
I saw this. I know what you're about to say.
So they have a new game, not a new game, their first game coming out. Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Like, you know, this is something pretty big, I'd say. It's their first big creator doing something behind the scenes as far as like making an entire like development squad. So yeah, so the I'm trying to figure out how to get to the page. And give us the name of the game. Okay, Variants is the game that I was talking about. So yeah, so there's this new game coming out by this, and it's Variants, I believe. Every variant in the Midnight Society has a unique personality represented in our visor cortex, each with attributes that determine various levels of rarity. Variants are outfitted with unique armor, call signs, weapons, backdrops, and more. You can step into the night knowing you are truly unmatched. Night has fallen on the city. Your visor sits dark and waiting on the table. It's time. You hold your visor cortex up to the port. Instantly, it is drawn to the visor with that magnetic force and crackle of electric power. The visor blinks to life as you slip it on, and once again you feel like your true self. That's pretty epic.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so pretty much with this game, right now it's in the founder stage, so there's like founder benefits and everything like that. You get early access to game builds and weapons, voting rights on game features, one of a kind call sign and vortex, exclusive access to the studio events. You have, as of right now, as of March 16th, 2021, at 12:06, you have 6 days, 14 hours, 48 minutes left to claim your existence in as a founder.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I'm thinking about doing it just because. Why not? You know what I mean?
Yep. I think I'm gonna do it.
But it looks really cool. Like there's like exclusive events, and I think that's good. And it gives these founders that people are going to be people that are into the game and really want to see the game succeed. It gives them voting rights too, which is really cool because not a lot of game developers anymore have like community based votes on what's going to go in the game. You
Yeah,
know what I
and they're
mean?
actually gonna listen to the community about
Yeah,
how
which
to
is good
make
to
the
see.
game better.
Which is good to see because we see a lot of that not happening. I mean, it's getting better with like games like Call of Duty, which have been really bad lately, but they're getting better. But like
Yeah, that's
it
one
kind
thing
of
I was gonna bring up about Call of Duty is recently they've had there's like a new guy that is apparently the title of his job is like director of influencer relations, but it's like I don't think anybody really knows exactly what the job is right now, but I'm guessing that they're gonna start like really looking at the influencers and trying to get their input on how to make the game better and stuff, which is
yeah,
nice.
because I mean they do make their living off the said game. You know what I mean? And I think that every game, and not every, I mean every game developer company should have that role for every game that they have that has a large influencer base because um you know nowadays it's a whole different world than it was 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people do
Yeah,
make their
yeah.
living off of playing video games, and when the game is not content it's not a content based game, or like there's no content around said game anymore, those creators go to other games because they have to make money somehow, and if there's no money in that game for them anymore, they move to another game. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing about this Midnight Society game. Like we of course we don't really know what it is. We assume it's gonna be a shooter. We
Well,
assume that it maybe it won't like be just a battle royale, but it probably will have a battle royale if it's a shooter, considering like Doctor Disrespect's history with what he likes in a game.
and BRs are really
So
big right now too, so it makes
I
sense.
mean, if that's what it's gonna be, then it's definitely gonna draw in a ton of people. People are definitely gonna come in and see what Doctor Disrespect has created. So
Oh yeah, plus
it's
it's
good that they're
Doctor
taking these
Disrespect.
initiatives to get like the influencers involved and to get founders involved. So there's people who, when new people come in, they're already like ready to show everybody what the game is about.
Yeah. And it's one of those things is like when it comes to founders too, like it gets more people playing the game earlier on, which gives them better like publicity and everything like that, especially with like founder packs and everything. It's just a really good way of going about it. Because people like free stuff.
Yeah,
It's kind of
I'm excited for that game. I'm really excited for whatever he's bringing.
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna play it.
So I think it's just interesting.
I'm definitely gonna like give it a shot. Hope they have something on like a timetable of at least when the game will be playable.
Yeah, they will though. They seem like I mean, it seems like it's going to be a very transparent type development team, which I'm really excited about because we really don't get a lot of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
off the bat, and the games continue to be successful. You know what I mean? Like a lot of like small dev teams are very transparent. Like like the creators of Splitgate.
yeah,
But their game kind of like rose and fell, mainly because other games, were kind of just at a low, and it's a lot like Halo, and Halo wasn't out yet. The new Halo wasn't out yet, but now the new Halo's out, and people are like, "Yeah, this is just kind of like Halo, and I'd rather play the Halo game." You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
And it's like, I mean, Splitgate just fell. Like the blow up of Splitgate fell perfectly in everybody's hands because Splitgate blew up when the hype of Halo was starting to build, but we hadn't got to play the game yet.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, "Yeah, we'll play this game before that."
Yeah, it was
And
like a
it
very
also,
it was
like
good
the
timing.
blow up also fell, like, right when the COD off season started, so, like,
Yeah.
all the COD players who were just tired of playing Cold War were like, "Yeah, let's go play Splitgate."
Yeah. It was like a very like it was just like a timing thing, you know what I mean? Cuz the game's been around for a long time and it was kind of like Among Us. Among Us got really really big really really fast. I mean, it's still really big
Among Us
though.
blew up because of Fall Guys.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, I mean, from what I know at least, like, Among Us had already been out for, like, a couple years,
Like they
and
were
then
already
Fall Guys
working on the
came
next
out.
one.
Yeah, like, Fall Guys comes out, and it's like this weird, wacky version of a BR that's not r it's like it comes out and it's like a BR, but not really a
Mm.
BR, but and then everybody liked that, and then it kinda fell off, and then everybody was trying to find something else, and then Among Us just showed up. Everybody was like, "Oh, there's this game called Among Us, and it has, like, a really cool concept," and everybody's like,
Well,
"Yeah, we're gonna play that."
it's based off of a concept that like people have known for years, you know what I mean? Like there's different
Yeah.
like games that you play like Clue's kind of like it. Mafia, I don't know if you guys ever played Mafia. It's a card based game um where
Yeah,
there's a killer
I
and stuff
think
like
that's
that.
the big appeal of Among Us is it was basically just a bunch of, like it was like a bunch of, like, card games and board games that just came to life in a video game, and everybody enjoyed it.
I think it's like when it comes to certain games like especially when it's smaller games, it if as long as you have like people love um familiarity
Yep.
and they love because it's nostalgic and
Yeah,
people are
that's
big
why
into
I think
nostalgia.
a lot of people will be excited for Doctor Disrespect's game because, I mean, he has experience developing games already. He helped develop Advanced Warfare. He helped develop, uh he actually, like, designed maps on Advanced Warfare. He wasn't like a lot of the pros now that are just, like, consultants, like, he actually worked on the game,
Yeah.
and, and I think he knows how to, like, capture the COD fans, so I think his game probably, at least for the first little bit, will probably blow up
And
because it'll be so familiar to everybody.
I think games that have like a really good like Among Us had a really really good like creator aspect to it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Among
it
Us
was
was,
a
like,
high
perfect for it 'cause
yeah.
you could get so many people together and interacting playing the game.
Yeah, and the thing is like it was good for content too because like, 10,000 IQ imposter play or 10,000 IQ detective play, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that people eat up. People eat things up
Yep.
like that. Like it's just like, "Oh my god, that was epic." You know what I mean? Like that was insane.
Yeah,
And
that's the thing about Among Us is there's so much suspense in that game
yeah, and
all
it
the
and
time.
it and it really benefited the game. And I feel like this game by Dr. Disrespect and his company um will have that same aspect because he is a content creator himself, you know what I mean? He's been in this for years and years and years and he knows how to do it. You know what I mean? He's got such a big
Mhm.
following, like he has the experience and I think that it's going to be a really good game for content
And
creators.
he has the pull and the money
Oh
too.
yeah.
Like, I mean, he has the pull to bring in really good developers and to really, like, promote this game, and he has the money to raise a really good development team that can make a good game.
Oh yeah.
Like, this isn't gonna be like one of those, like, little, like, mobile games that creators make just so all their little, like, 13-year-old fans can go play it. Like, this is gonna be like this is a triple A title.
Yeah.
This is gonna be big.
Oh yeah. And Yang, I agree with you. I like simulator games and RP and MMORPG games as well. You know what I mean? Like, but thing is playing with other people. I feel like is what a lot of people like nowadays. Is because you can't really going out and like hanging out with people is still kind of wishy washy. You know what I mean? Like it's getting better,
Yeah.
but it's still wishy washy to go and play with other people. Outside, like like go and hang out with your friends. And a lot of us have gained just friends through the internet. Like the amount of friends that I have one friend IRL, and
I
then I
mean,
have my girlfriend.
look at this podcast. That's a product of
Yeah, literally.
making friends off the internet.
Like, and the thing is like now people have a lot of online friends, and they have a lot of people that live, you know, in a distance where they can't just, be like, hey, can I come over? Are we hanging out this weekend? They can't really do that. Um, so I mean, games like where you can play with other people, it's definitely the hot thing right now. Just of the fact that a lot of people have gained friends online, and that's just a product of a pandemic.
Yep.
And
It's a product of a pandemic in the 21st century that we've never experienced. Because this wouldn't have happened before.
no, I mean it could have, but I don't think the blow up would have been as big. You know what I mean? Because I had online friends beforehand too, but I had a few like friends IRL too, and once the pandemic hit, I was just like, you know what? I have much
I
better
don't
friends
even think that
online.
if we would have had a pandemic like this, even like 20 years ago, I don't think it would have been nearly as big as far as like the online side of it. Because it's just everything is kind of like fallen in line perfectly that now, um, especially because of games like Warzone and Fortnite and all that, like just online video games have just exploded. Like even 10 years ago, playing games online wasn't like that crazy. As far as like the amount of connections you could make. Um, and it's just like I think because the pandemic hit at the point that it did, everybody was just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna sit inside and play video games all the time."
I mean, everyone
And
was
then,
sitting side anyway. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things you kind of just like, got to think about. But
I mean, it happened, and we're here now. So,
yeah. I mean, we can't change the past. We can only take what happened in the past and, change our futures.
yeah,
That's some words of wisdom. I've been rolling with the words of wisdom yesterday. Yes, was it yesterday or the day before? I put out a tweet. I was like, I tweeted this tweet in 2018, the day that I lost my dad. Okay, I was not doing so good. I needed something that would like I could look back on and like really just get me through the day, right? And that tweet was, when life hands you rotten lemons, throw them away and get new ones. You know what I mean? And I posted that, what was it, 2 days ago. And I was like, you know what? That's true. Life gave us a whole lot of rotten lemons. You know what I mean? And a lot of people threw them away. I said, nope, I'm going to get some new ones. And we did. And that's what we did with gaming. You know what I mean? That was a lot of people's new lemon. And then people, get sour lemons, and you just add a little bit of sugar.
they add a little bit of sugar to COD this year.
Oh yeah, bro. These LAN events are hype. I'm so excited to go in July. I'm hyped.
I'm so excited for you to go and watch New York finish last.
I know. I'm probably gonna go there wearing my optic merch. Honestly, like I'll be like,
Oh
Riss.
man.
Cause she's gonna go with me. I asked her again the other day. She's like, yeah, we're still going. I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, listen, all right, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna wear optic merch to an NYSL LAN event. That's how it's gonna be. Because honestly, like
She's
NYSL,
gonna be
bro.
like, "Wait, do you think that's a good idea? Like, we're from New York, like, and you like NYSL?" And then you just show her the CDL standings, and she's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, be like, listen, I know we're from New York. I know we're supposed to be rooting for our New York team, but like they ain't doing so good right now. They're not doing so hot. I mean, there was the
Yeah,
one NYSL guy at the Optic event. I respect that. True, true. Like there's NYSL Mystical. I'm going to that one. You guys, like, we can link. Like, I'm trying to get everybody I possibly know to go to that one because I'm gonna wear like my name tag and put tonnage on it. All right, I'm gonna wear a name tag that says
hey
tonnage
yo,
and be like, listen, guys, look for me. I might even wear my freaking, depending on how hot it is or how cold it is in the venue, I might wear my chicken butt merch. You know what I mean? I'll wear my chicken butt mask and everything.
yeah.
Just look for the chicken butt mask. I'll be wearing one, and so will Riss. And find Riss, you'll find me. If you find me, you find Riss. You know what I mean? He's actually the only guy who can bring MS5 back on track. Listen, man, NYSL has a lot of work they need to put in because they're not doing so great based on the team
There's
that
some
they have.
rumors of roster changes that could be happening, so
Honestly, I think I agree. There's I think they need roster changes. You know what I mean? Because something's not working.
there's a rumor that okay, so one of the things that I saw that CDL Intel tweeted is New York subliners are expected to sign Paul X, actively pursuing a second player.
Oh, oh yeah, you sent me that the other day.
Like who? What is the second player for? Like is somebody that means somebody else is going from the starting lineup. They're not going to sign two subs.
Mm-mm. It really is anyone's game this year, though. I mean, honestly, like, in past years, you're like, oh, like it's pretty good, but like honestly, FaZe is probably gonna take it. Or like the first year, Dallas Empire was really hot. But last year especially, like everyone was just like, yeah, but FaZe. You know what I mean? And it did end up being FaZe. And this year, it's not like that at all. Like FaZe is getting, I think FaZe is
I mean,
crumbling. You
FaZe
know what I
got
mean?
smoked in that grand final against Optic. They didn't win a single respawn.
I know, and it's exciting though because
And the
it's
thing is like
variety.
Rambo said that Optic wasn't even playing their best. Like he said Rambo said that he thinks that they could play quite a bit better,
Well, let's see it then. You know what I mean?
and they still won.
Let's see it then. I want to see. I want to see like this competitive Call of Duty back. Want to see it. You know what I mean? Can we all agree Cold War was set up great competitively versus how Vanguard is set up? What do you think about that perception?
I mean, yeah. I mean, versus how Vanguard is set up, yeah. But I mean, I definitely don't think Cold War is like the best competitive COD,
No,
but I think it's the best one we've had since BO4 because Modern Warfare was just awful. Like everything about that competitive was awful.
I don't like.
Um, and Cold War was really good actually. Like there definitely like because the game was rushed and stuff like that. There were a lot of bugs, but uh, as far as like the way the game played, and like if you take away all the bugs and stuff, it's a really good competitive game. And Vanguard like has the potential to be good, but they got to get better maps and they got to get rid of squad spawns. Like I honestly think that if you just took out squad spawns, Vanguard would be 10 times better. Squad spawns are just terrible.
Yeah, I think competitively speaking, the game is better, but I feel like this year's competitive, watching competitive is better. You know what I mean? Like what competitive, like from a viewer standpoint, um, like watching
I
Vanguard
don't think
competitive is
it's
a
as
little
good as
better.
Cold War, but I think playing competitive is pretty good this year.
I don't know. I feel
I
like
like
watching it's
actually
better.
playing it like in ranked play and stuff. I mean, watching it definitely is better because you're not under the stress of playing it, but I do enjoy playing ranked in Vanguard. I think a lot of that though is because the ranked system is good for the most part. Um, like if you stuck this ranked system, if you gave it some more improvements, which they're working on some more improvements right now. But if you threw some more improvements into this ranked system and put it in a game like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, that'd be insane. Like I wouldn't be able to stop playing competitive. Because, like, while the game is not the greatest, the ranking system is really good. And the matchmaking is good.
I think it's because of Lance being back as opposed to solely being online. That may be true, but I feel like there's more competitiveness to it as
I
well.
mean,
You
the
know what I mean?
competition in this game is a lot higher. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
there's,
feel like people are
I
finally
would say
trying again.
outside of, like, I would say right now, the only two teams who are like automatic wins for the other teams is like NYSL and Paris. They're the only two teams where you're almost certain that they're going to lose. And even then they can surprise you. Like if New York picks up a couple other guys and makes a better team, they will be up there. Like Paris ended up like taking somebody out in the major. Like they can show up. It's just everybody, like all the top 10 teams, any one of those teams could probably win. Like, I don't think you can rule any of the top 9 or 10 teams out in a series.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more. It's not as like not as predictable. I mean, it's still a little predictable, but I feel like it's not as predictable as it was last year. Because last year you could be like, yeah, they're gonna take the entire series. Like, yeah, we predicted I mean, we did predict Optic to win the whole thing, but that was mainly based off the fact that it was an Optic home event, and Optic really knows how to get hype on those. You know what I mean?
And
That's
Optic
where they
has been
thrive.
looking good too. I mean, they had been
Yeah.
looking really good in their last 3 matches after they lost the first 2, and it definitely looked like they had the most momentum out of any team
Yeah.
going into it. So it was a very like even though me and Tone really like Optic, it was a very logical like decision to pick Optic to win the major.
Yeah.
I mean, everything kind of fell in line for them to win it, and they did.
And you're right, Aaron. Like for Search, they always show up against FaZe, but like any other team, just
They're
fucking
nasty though this year. Like I definitely like they need to improve a little bit more. They need to look a lot more like they did in the beginning of the year.
yeah.
Like at the kickoff, but I definitely don't think they're anywhere near the Surge teams of the last 2 years.
Like the
Like
Search
right now,
teams
they're not
last
looking the
year's.
greatest, but their potential is so much higher than the other two teams, especially because they've shown it already. I mean, they've shown that they are capable of making it to grand finals and even winning uh majors this year. They just need to get it together. I think the during this little like 5 game losing streak or whatever they've had, they need to they just need to like get it together and go back to the lab and they'll come back as a really good team.
Yeah, I
They have the
agree.
talent to win.
They just need to. I feel like then not only do they have the talent to win, but like they've had Searches of the talent to win in the past. You know what I mean? Like especially like their
Especially with
MW
the
roster.
initial Modern Warfare team that they had, everybody said they were going to be a top 3 team.
Yeah, and they were not. And I think that I feel like they're really like showing that like, oh yeah, Seattle Surge is like we're here. We're not just kind of like here to be here. We're kind of like,
Yeah.
actually competing this time,
Well,
and I like
and they
that.
have like honestly like they have the template that they're using is kind of the same template that Optic's using to an extent right now. And I think it's the best template to use for a team in Vanguard, and it's have one guy who's a veteran who's been here for a while. Like, and for them, it's accuracy. He's been here since Ghosts AW. He knows the game, he knows the pros, he knows the competition. But then they have another guy who's been here for a little bit, but not super long in Mac, who's only been here for like a couple years, but he definitely has some experience. And then they have 2 rookies. Now, you don't need necessarily 2 rookies. You could use a guy who's been here for a couple years too, but it's the same kind of template as like Optic is using, is you get one veteran and like 3 like kind of younger guys, and you have a really good team because that's what you need in this game. I think that's why like New York are not doing so good. Like, yeah, granted, Krim and Clay are like 2 of the best people you could probably put on a team together, but they just don't play in the way that it's gonna work in this game. And they're trying to get their entire team to play the way that they've always played, and it's not working. Like, if you're gonna have Krim and Clay on the team, they either need to switch it up and try to play like everybody else, or they need to like find a way to get one person off the team or something. Because like the way that they're doing it's just not working. Like they cannot win a hard point, and I think a lot of it is because they just play way too slow. Like since I don't think they've won a hard point since the kickoff. I think they're like 0-14 or something like that.
Right. I just I don't know. I feel like it's better than it has been. I feel like Call of
Competition
Duty is
is
going up.
definitely the best. I think it's been easily in the last like 5 or 6 years,
Yeah, I feel like Call
maybe
of
ever.
Duty is
This might
going
be the
back up, but I
highest
don't know.
competition we've ever had.
Could be. Personally, I think Call of Duty is going up, but I'm not sure if it's too late. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's. I don't know if it's them doing this too late on or what. because it could be a possibility that they just did this, you know, like them going up could be too late. But I mean, what was it? You said, what was it last weekend? Their peak viewerage for the
Their
live.
peak viewers last weekend was like 186,000.
Yeah, so I mean, it
That's
might not
on the
be.
stream. You got to add like the 1,000 or so people I think that were at the
Yeah,
arena.
yeah. So like, it might not be too late. You know what I mean? It might not be too
I
late.
don't think it's too late. I think COD is still. I mean, granted, it's not a young esport when you consider the history of esports in general, but there's so much time. I mean, you look at sports like basketball and football and stuff like that. Like they've been around for so long. Like they probably were in similar positions
Mm-hmm.
at the 10, 20 year mark. But the thing about esports, and Hex has said this before. He talked about this with Miles. But the thing about esports is the potential for growth in esports is just exponential compared to like the early days of basketball and football. Like we can grow to the levels that they've grown, but we can do it 10 times faster.
And that's the power of the internet, my friends.
That's what I'm saying. Like everybody that's been playing COD for a long time or has been in esports for a long time, all is talking about COD and they're like, yeah, this might be too late. But I mean, I think it's just beginning. Like, granted, COD is not in the greatest state right now, but there's been a lot of good rumors about Modern Warfare 2. It seems like they're on the right track. You got to keep in mind that we still haven't been bought out by Microsoft fully yet, so that's still not happened. There's still a lot of potential there. Uh, I don't think there's too much of a reason to worry right now.
Yeah, I
Now,
agree.
if all the Microsoft stuff goes down and we have Modern Warfare 2 for 2 years and it's not good, yeah, it might be a little bit of a cause for concern, but uh I think with the rumors of Modern Warfare 2 being good, which we can't take them too seriously. We can't, make conclusions yet. But with the rumors of Modern Warfare 2 being good and all the stuff that they're talking about, plus the prospect of Microsoft coming in, which I'm pretty sure it's looking like that deal is definitely going to go through. I don't think there's going to be a lot of pushback on that. It's just when is it going to go through? But when it goes through, I think I think COD might be back. We'll see.
Here's my thing though. This is where, this is where the comparison to the like real, like, like to sports and then to esports, right?
Yeah.
Is that with sports, right? You're kind of like, it's one of those things, is like, you don't see it a lot. You don't see a lot of or really ever. You don't really see a lot of professionals switch sports. You know what I mean? They kind of
Yep.
just stick with one and kind of just stay there, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
with gaming, there's switches all the time. You know what I mean? We see it a lot. We saw a lot of Halo pros go to COD. We saw a lot of COD pros go back to Halo. You see people switch from mouse to keyboard, mouse to keyboard to controller, and
Mhm.
people that was like, especially with Valorant, the amount of pros from different esports go to Valorant. You know what I mean?
What's like
So,
even like I don't remember who this guy was. I don't remember what his name was, but I know in the early days of the early days compared to now
mhm.
of COD esports, like back in like AW and BO3 when it really started to blow up, um, past the BO2 explosion, was there were a lot of CS:GO players that would regularly play COD when they weren't practicing or scrimming or anything like that. So like even in the earlier days of people switching games, like there were like everybody would be so surprised to hear the CS:GO players were playing COD and they were like, yeah, we like playing the game. And it's the same thing with like when COD players playing CS and stuff. It's just like, yeah, they just like playing it.
Thing
And
is, it's
some
just a lot
people like
easier
it
to.
so much that they switch over.
And the thing is like, I'm gonna try to get to the point I was trying to make. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I'm gonna try. Uh,
There's gonna be a lot of zigzags, but you're gonna get there.
um, so like the 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 ability that they have to switch from one game to another is a lot higher than regular sports, right? Because when you're a really good basketball star, it's kind of hard to switch over to another sport. You know what I mean? Um,
I mean, the only sports that like a basketball player could probably easily switch over is like baseball and football, but then
and
again,
even
it's very
then,
particular. It's like you can't just take any basketball player and throw them on a football field and they're going to be good.
yeah. But the thing with gaming, it's like as long as you have game sense, you can kind of build off that. You need game sense and some sort of aim, right?
Yep.
And then you can just build on learning the game from there, and that just comes with time,
Yeah.
right?
And I mean, that's product of like look at like with Shotzi. Like he went and won a Halo World Championship. Uh he was really good at that game. He sometimes played COD, but he really didn't play it that much. He didn't know it that much. Um but he started studying it in BO4 when Halo was having its break, and then he switched over and he started playing it a lot more. And granted, when he got picked up by the Dallas Empire, a lot of people thought it was a bad decision, and it looked like a bad decision in the beginning. He played really badly in the beginning, but he like the Dallas Empire stuck with him and they taught him how to play the game. They helped him, and now he's literally one of the best players in the game. He went like even in that same year they ended up winning COD champs. So
Yeah.
Shotzi is technically I mean, um granted, like the Halo World Championship hasn't been a thing for super long, but Shotzi is the first FPS player to win a championship in two different games because he won the Halo World Championship and then he went and won COD champs.
So now rounding out to my point, if an esport were to die, right? Like say COD for instance, COD. Say if COD competitive were to die, right?
Yeah, COD's the one that everybody talks about dying, so this is a great
Yeah.
example.
These players could easily move on to another one. Would it be a little hard for them? Yeah, probably, because they have to go to another totally different competition pool. But they're pros for a reason. They have good game sense. They have good aim, relatively, and they made it this far. And it's a lot easier for them to switch over. So if a COD starts dying, COD really starts dying, and it'd be easier for. And there's other games out there
Yeah.
like those players could switch over to those other games. You know what I mean? They don't have to stay with COD. And it
When you look at
would
like even when you talk about COD, like COD has a long off season period, right?
mm-hmm.
Like COD, there's 3, 4 months between COD games and nobody really knows what to do when they're a COD pro. And like I don't know if his mind's gonna change before it happens, but Shotzi has really been dead set on as soon as COD Champs ends, because of the timing of it, as soon as COD Champs is over, no matter what the result, he said that he is going to buckle down and he's going to grind Halo and he's going to get a team for the Halo World Championship this year. So even like now, he's going to go off and play a different game right after COD Champs.
So and like you can't do that with like sports. You can't do that because it's a lot harder to switch from professional basketball to professional football or vice versa or another professional sport. Um,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's just different. Like, I mean, there's different skill sets in games, but like to an extent, it's a little bit easier to switch
Yeah.
between.
So like a COD sport dying, it's a lot more probable than a sport dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just the point I was trying to make.
Esports is just so young that you have to do it really well for the esport
Yeah,
to survive, and you have to have good enough the game has to have a good enough fan base.
I have to have a
And it's like
longevity.
even though COD esports is not doing that great right now, the fan base is there. So
Yeah,
as long as we keep the fan base there, the game will succeed when it ends up getting good.
yeah. And the thing is like you look at games like CS:GO. I mean, there's been competitive CS:GO for years. League of Legends, years.
Yeah, and everybody thought that when Valorant came out it would kill CS, but CS is still running pretty strong.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Valorant's a little bit stronger than it right now, but
But,
CS is still running strong, and it's been running strong for 20 years.
well, the thing is like they did the release of Valorant, right? Like they really did that in the best way that it could possibly have been done. You know what I mean? It was by Riot, another, the company that made League of Legends, and League of Legends is a really successful esports. You know what I mean? It's you look at those events and you're like, oh my god, like this is it's a different level. You know what I mean? And to see that, it's really and there's gonna be little esports that die off here and there, and you know really won't be around, but there's the ones that like really stick around, like the like the competitive Smash community. Like it's still going.
Well, and that's the thing too is I don't know if this would be like possible because I don't know if like the COD pros are contracted to play the game that is out right now. But you look at like a lot of COD pros have talked about why can't we just go back and play Cold War because the Vanguard's not that great. And it's like I don't know if they can do it, but you look at like Smash, like there's some pros that go on and play the new Smash games, and there is a scene for the new Smash games, but the biggest scene in Smash is for Melee, which is like what 25 years old now.
Yep. And it's still going. Like the longevity of these games, it's as long as you build a good base game and make a good
I mean,
esports
and it's
community around
wild that
it.
they keep pumping out Smash games, and everybody just
They're like,
sticks playing
nah.
Melee.
They're like, nah. Screw that, nah.
Like these new Smash games come out, and all these new pros are like, "Yeah, this game's really fun," and all these other guys are like, "But look at all the legends that are still playing Melee."
So I think it's very interesting to see. We really got into that. Oh my god. We're already like 40 minutes into this. Oh man, we really got into that. Whew. Expecting that conversation to go as long as it did. Um, I'm gonna talk about something. I'm gonna segue into something not totally different, but somewhat different. So I've been doing a little bit of observations. I do this a
Oh
lot.
god.
I'm an observer, and right, this is the Climb Together podcast, so I like to share my observations. Right. And recently, I haven't really been creating content a lot, but I've been watching a lot of content. You know what I mean? I'm more of a consumer right now than anything. I'm getting back. Don't you guys worry. I'm coming back. When? I don't know. Soon. That's all I can tell.
Soon,
Soon.
soon, trademark.
But so I've been watching a lot of like TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. And
I mean,
there's
everybody watches TikTok,
well,
so
yeah. But there's one thing that I've noticed about TikTok, and I think this is something that um a lot of content creators need to take into consideration. A lot of people just post clips, right? They just kind of post a clip of their stream. They just kind of clip it, edit
yep,
it so it fits, TikTok format, and then post it. You know what I mean?
yep.
And they are like, hey, why aren't my TikToks blowing up? Why this? Why this? Why that? It's because it's just a gaming clip. That's pretty much it. It's just a clip. There's
You
no
gotta
real
throw some
content.
pizzazz
You
into
gotta
your
throw some
gaming clip
pizzazz
if you
into it.
wanna.
You know what I mean? Like I've been seeing
Like
a
you gotta
lot.
put like if it's a funny clip, you gotta throw in text to speech.
Yep.
You gotta throw in closed captions. You gotta if you have a face cam, you gotta crop your face cam in there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, like the
you
thing
gotta
is,
throw music on there.
well, not even the music. A lot of people just say, "Oh, let me put music to a clip and call it good." No, you can't do that. And a lot of clips, things that I've been seeing do well are one, toxic people, and you edit it. It's like a 5 minute clip that you edit down into a minute or less.
Yeah,
Those go really well. Especially
yeah, the
like with a
toxic
bunch of
people
like girl like
and rage compilations. Those are funny.
rage compilations. Those are also funny. And then like when you have like a good play in a game, adding like memes into it. That's I've been seeing that do really really well. So if you're looking to step up your TikTok game as far as like a gaming content creator standpoint, that I've been seeing do really well lately. And it's one of those things, TikTok, it's changing consistently. There's always something new. There's always newer content to consume. Every once in a while I'll see just a regular clip, but it's like an amazing clip. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, "Oh my god, how the frick did he do that?" You
Look
know what
at
I mean?
if you wanna. This is not really like a gameplay clip, but it is from a game. It's from people just interacting in a game. But you need to watch the one that I just sent you. It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh, you're gonna love that one. It's so funny.
Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, like funny conversations with gameplay in the background. It's kind of like what attracts people to streaming. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what that TikTok was. They're making a
Yeah.
joke and they put it over gameplay while they were gaming. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah, and look, it has 305K likes.
Yeah, like I just liked it, so it's 305K point one. Point oh one. Oh one?
305K.01.
I don't know. I
As
liked
did
it.
point oh one of a person like that?
Yep. Um anyway, stuff like that. Like you gotta have a little bit of spice to your content. You know what I mean? You
I
can't.
mean, that's not even like a cool gaming clip of
No,
getting a
it was
bunch of
just
kills or some
no.
sort of like reaction to you killing somebody.
No,
That's
they were just
that's
vibing.
literally them just running around vibing, and then this guy says that, and it's like, oh, that was really funny.
Yeah, like stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that people eat up, and that reaches more people than just the COD. You know, bingle butts. You know what I mean? Bingle butts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure out of that 300K, there's some people who watch that clip and they're like, I have no earthly idea what game this guy's playing, but that clip was really funny.
yeah. So like it attracts more people to watch your stuff, and I feel like that's important. And I'm gonna bring in my own content here for a second, just because I can. So I'm gonna pull up my YouTube real quick, and I'm gonna go to my studio and pull up my analytics again. um, I'm not gonna throw out numbers or anything, but I'm gonna sort it, based on the highest viewage and go down, right? So,
You have better analytics than me.
because you haven't posted anything, dude. So this is one thing that I think I made this video May 26, 2020, right? And it became my best video at the time, right? And I was in a game of Warzone with my friends, Lightsy, Angie, and Snipes. We played together literally all the time on stream, and one time we just decided to play a game of tag. We played a game of tag in Warzone. This was back in Verdansk because this was 2020. And what I did
Oh
was I
god.
sped it up so the video wasn't as long as it was going to be, and we sounded like chipmunks.
Oh
So
god.
it was chipmunk tag. Um, and I named the video Warzone but faster. I could probably change that title and it would blow up a little bit better. This was before I like really knew how to title things, but I'm gonna
Warzone, but faster.
Warzone chipmunk tag. Chip.
2020 17-year-old tone was like, yeah, I have the best title ever for
No,
this. It's Warzone, but
I
faster.
think I was still 15 at the time. I turned
Okay,
16 yet.
so if you want to talk about something funny that people do in Warzone that's not like super normal, I also saw this on TikTok, and this is also pertaining to how the clips blow up if it's just something good. This guy was playing Rebirth, and honestly, like we should try this one day. I don't know if we could ever pull it off, but this guy was playing Rebirth, and he would he would die intentionally, and then float in and wait till a team was gonna push a buy to buy a loadout. And as soon as they dropped the money, he was gonna drop down and grab the money. He's gonna rob them of their loadout money.
How'd it go?
I think he pulled it off a few times in the video.
Nice. But yeah, so I just changed the video, but it was my best viewed video at the time. I don't have a lot of subscribers. My outreach isn't that great, but the video itself did really, really well because it's funny. You know what I mean? If you're going through and editing something and it makes you laugh as you're editing it, it's gonna be a good video. That I can guarantee. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I had another good video that had almost the same amount of views. This was in December of 2020, so this was during Cold War, and Prop Hunt had just come out,
I
and
remember
I
Prop
was
Hunt.
playing Prop Hunt with a bunch of my friends, and we always have a good time while we're playing. We always laugh. We always have a good time. Um,
Prop Hunt's always a good time.
they kind of stopped playing Call of Duty, so we really haven't played together recently. But we played this night, and we were playing Prop Hunt, and we were having a blast. Okay, and we were like trying to pull off some sneaky, just trying to finesse, if you would. And
Yeah.
I played Ring Around the Rosie around a fountain as like this big old box, and I won the round. You know what I mean? Like, it was epic. So I titled it 1,000 IQ Prop Hunt plays that should not have worked, because there was a few of them that were like, how did I survive? You know what I mean? And
And
I
that
editing
happens a
it.
lot at Prop Hunt. There are a lot of Prop Hunt plays where you're like, how did I survive that?
So it's relatable, and people,
Yeah.
want to get better at things, so they kind of like, they like to watch. It kind of played off the Among Us, like, 1,000 IQ Among Us play, whatever. You know what I mean? But it was funny. Like, like, if you're trying to go for comedic content, if you don't make yourself laugh while you're editing it, it's not gonna do well, and that I will vouch on. I mean, there is the one, like every once in a while, like, you'll have a good comedic video, but you really don't make yourself laugh editing it. It's probably gonna still do well or okay, but if you make yourself laugh editing it, you make yourself laugh with the thumbnail, like, and not in a, oh, that's cringy, but like, no, that was actually genuinely funny, it's gonna do well as a video.
Yep.
And I think, and if you don't edit your own videos, if your editor doesn't laugh while making it, that might be a telltale sign to get funnier, put in better jokes, because your editor, at the same time,
Just
he
get
isn't
funnier.
he isn't you, or she isn't you, or they aren't you, right? So they're not gonna get it the way that you get it, right? But they're still your editor. You know what I mean? They're still a consumer of content, right? If they're an editor, right? They've watched a lot of YouTube. You know what I mean? They've kind of figured out how to edit, and if they're good anyway, that's not the point otherwise. But you know what I mean? Like, if they don't laugh while they're editing your content, then it's, you gotta figure something out, because if you're trying to go for
Yep.
that comedic value, because you could be funny, but you may just be only funny to yourself, and that may be good for you, but as far as content creation, it might not be that great.
So like you most of the
Shut
time.
up. But no, like, if you laugh while making your content and you're trying to make a comedic video, as long as you get a good title and thumbnail, or like you post it on Twitter with like a clip of like one of the better jokes of the video, it'll do better. I can guarantee you that. And if it doesn't work, then you can say, Tone, it didn't work, and I'll be like, all right, I was wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong, but I'll also like come over the video and be like, yo, your thumbnail sucks, your title sucks. That's why it didn't work. But that's not the point. That's not the point of this conversation. But it really should be. If you have a funny video, try to make the thumbnail funny too. Like a picture of you laughing, or
If you do something really funny and want to post it on TikTok, make it as funny as possible.
yeah. Like, if you
Don't
have like
just
a 3-hour
just
stream,
rip the clip from your
yeah,
stream
if you have
and
like a
post
three, 4, 5 hour stream, right? And you're like, oh, I need to pull 3 TikToks for tomorrow. Okay. Pick the 3 funniest moments of said stream and edit them to the best of your ability. Even if it's like a 5-minute conversation, you can edit that, or you can have someone edit it down to like a minute. And like TikToks, they can go to 3 minutes now. It's, if you guys weren't aware of that, like, you can edit a TikTok out to 3 minutes. Is it going to be
Yep.
as watched? Probably not, but if it's really funny, like, yeah. But it's one of those things, you can't really leave dead space. You have to really like stick to the joke.
Yep.
You have to make sure you don't really leave anything out that sticks with the joke.
Yep.
So, like, say you're playing a game, right? And you have this, yeah, you're playing with your homies, right? And your homies call you what is it? Every time you die, they yell bazinga, right? And they only did it for that stream because the first time you died, you made a really weird noise. You're like, and they're like, they thought it you said bazinga. So they're like, oh, so every time you die, you die, like we're gonna yell bazinga because that's what we thought you said. So kind of edit it so like they get like the backstory. You know what I mean? So like be like, oh,
Yeah.
run into a thing, die, and your team goes bazinga, and then you cut and be like, well, why were they bazinga? You know what I mean? And then cut to the part of the stream where you died and you were like, bazinga. And they're like, oh, and they're like, ha ha ha, And I just made that shit
Yeah.
up off the spot, by the way. But yeah, like something like that. That kind of structure kind of works too, I think.
I think. Oh man, I need to post TikToks to be honest. I
I
think
think
I
you
should
need to
do that.
post TikToks, YouTube, you know what I mean? And you have a editor at your disposal. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying.
Just saying.
Alrighty, what time is it? Alright, we're gonna open up. If you guys are in here and listening currently, if you guys have any questions, drop them while I drop this next little blurge for the people listening later on. But if you're in chat right now and you have any questions for us as far as content creations, as far as TikTok that we were just talking about, or anything really, Call of Duty or whatever, we will answer them to the best of our ability. And if you are listening currently on another platform, and you want to ask a question, but you can't make it live, either comment on the YouTube video that is posted to my YouTube at ToNaGeScorp on YouTube, or go to Twitter at ToNage_Scorp or at Deception the Rapper, or it's Deception 276, right?
Yeah.
At Deception 276. I don't know how I remembered that, but I did. Go there and find one of our go live tweets for the podcast. And leave a question down below. Be like, hey, this is a question for next week, or even DM us. Really, like we have our DMs open on everything, and we read all our DMs. Because we don't really get a lot of DMs, so we read all of them. So if you have a question for the podcast, we'll like make a note of it and we'll answer it. And
Wow, way to call us both out like that.
listen, man, the truth hurts sometimes. But it's the truth. No, but like, and we'll like make a note of it, and we can, if it's one of those questions that require a little bit more, we could definitely help you out a little bit and answer them. You have a question for me? All right. What's the
I have
question?
a question for Tone.
What?
What do you think about Snoop Dogg joining FaZe?
Snoop Dogg joining FaZe. I think it's the biggest publicity stunt we have ever seen.
I don't think it's the biggest one we've ever seen, but
Snoop, everybody knows Snoop. If you think you don't know Snoop,
having
you know
one of
Snoop.
the most influential people, not only in music but in just entertainment, join a gaming organization is wild.
I think it's wild. Honestly, like I mean,
and the crazy thing is we should have seen it coming because he was rocking a face chain on stage at the Super Bowl halftime show.
true. Okay, but here's why I think I think it's a really great thing because I feel like like it really does bring a lot of attention to the gaming scene, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's a really big publicity stunt too because I mean Snoop, I don't know how much he really does know about gaming. You know what I mean? Like I know he streams sometimes, but I really don't know like his full knowledge of it, and him having that big of a role in an organization is kind of like a kick in the face to the people that have been gaming for years and years and years and like have been in the industry for years and years and years.
I
But
think his main goal is just to advise them on where to take the business. He might be, who knows, FaZe might be trying to go outside of gaming, and he might be somebody that's helping them with that.
yeah, I mean, like personally,
I mean, he could easily help them with that.
well, yeah, and I don't know where they're going, so I really can't speak too much on it. You know what I mean? Because that'd be kind of rude of me, not speak kind of out of pocket. Um, but I'm just kind of like calling it how a lot of people are seeing it as like a really big publicity stunt.
Yeah.
And which is true. I feel like that's part of what it was. But you know what? You never know how much knowledge Snoop has. I mean, the man does smoke a lot of weed. Okay. Mary Jane, the devil's lettuce. Okay, he does smoke a lot of it. and
Don't blame her.
um he probably has a lot of knowledge. Man's probably goes on like a trip and is like, yo, listen, what if we did this? And they're like, yo, I
Like
like it.
what?
Yeah, like, yo, that sounds sick. Let's do it. And I feel like that's probably what's gonna happen, honestly, because I feel like that man has a lot of more knowledge than people, realize. I mean, the man does have his own wine, by the way. He has his own wine. That's saying something. He has his own alcohol. It's
I
really
mean, and
expensive
the
too.
thing is he's been able to stick with the times really well
Yeah,
over
and there's a.
his time being in the
Oh yeah.
entertainment slash music industry. He's been able to hang with the best of them this entire time. So
Hmm.
I don't think he's gonna have a problem working with FaZe.
I think he's gonna bring them more into like the non-gaming side of things, and they're gonna bring him into the more gaming side of things, and I think it'll be a
Yeah, I
good
was gonna say
balance.
like who knows? Maybe they just make him.
A
Maybe
gamer.
they make him the ultimate entertainer. Maybe he
Yeah.
just starts streaming on Twitch and gets a contract and like start it goes full time and he's just doing it all.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a question from Mystical. He says, I know you guys talked about this, but for the reason why NSL hold on. Sorry, this is the part where I can't English. Okay. I know you guys talked about this, but the reason why NSL can't win is because Crim and Clay literally can't play together in this 4v4 setting, COD, in my opinion. So the question is, who we drop in between the two?
I think we drop Crim.
I agree. Clay's been on NYSL for a while. You know what I mean? Like, and the team they had yet last year was pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't great by any means, but they weren't bad either. You know what I
Yeah, and
mean?
like and Clay is playing well. It's just and it's not like oh Clay's playing well, the rest of his team just sucks. It's just Clay is playing really well. It's just I think Crim just has a different way of playing the game,
Hmm.
and with the teams he's been on, it's not working. And the
Yeah.
reason why I say that is because this just came out like a couple days ago, but I watched this on YouTube. Some COD Clips channel posted a clip of this. Somebody in Shotzi's stream asked Shotzi why he had beef with Krim, and Shotzi was like, "I didn't have beef with Krim. Like, the only issue is just we didn't really see eye to eye on how to play the game as a team." And like, and when I heard that, I was like, I guarantee you that's the problem at NYSL is they're not seeing eye to eye on how to play the game, and it's taking them down. Because that's what took the Empire down, is because they didn't see eye to eye on how to play the game. And I guarantee you, that that's what's happening over there. And I bet if they dropped Krim and picked up somebody like Paul X, they would be back in form.
I think I agree with that. I agree. And as long as nobody else has any questions, I think that's a good place to call it for today. I have a lot of stuff to do in the next 2 hours. My grandma has been in the hospital, so I have to clean the house before she gets home, hopefully this week at some point. Uh, send some good vibes her way, please. This woman
Good vibes.
she opened up her house to me when I needed it most and opened up her love. So, but she's doing better. It was a rocky weekend, but she's getting there. Um, I haven't really been able to see her because of COVID. There's either the hospitals around here. You're allowed two people, and it's only those two people for the entirety of that person's stay, unless it's like
Yeah.
like bad. Um, like they're gonna die type thing. Where they'll let other people come in. But
Yep.
so I haven't really been able to see her or talk to her much. But um, please send some good vibes towards my grandma. Uh, because she's an amazing person, and I wouldn't be where I am without her. And that's a statement that I will hold by true.
I wouldn't be where I am without you.
Aw, deception. Stop.
It's a fact,
Anyway,
though.
deception. Do you have any closing remarks?
That's it. I wouldn't be where I am without you.
Um, I wouldn't be where I am without you either. Hearts for my grandma. Yeah, she's a lovely lady. Lovely, 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 lovely lady. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Climb Together podcast. That was episode number 17. We're coming back next week for episode number 18. We're gonna kill it. It's gonna be a good time. We're getting close to 20. If you guys are new to the podcast and want to watch the other episodes, they are available for you. Anywhere really. It's especially after this weekend. Like I'll be caught up on like editing and stuff like that. Hopefully. Just because there's been a lot of internet issues, so I have to go back through and like edit and cut out the parts where we cut out and everything. Fun
Yeah.
times. But yeah,
Yay.
we talk a lot about a lot of different things on the podcast. So there's some episodes where we just talk about current events, and there's some episodes where we delve into streaming tips and everything like that. So if you guys want to tune into those, they're titled and descripted as what's included.
Descripted.
As to what's included in them. So if you're looking for a certain thing, I mean, you could just ask us too, and we could probably, send you in the right direction of which one you should watch, based on what kind of information you're looking on. But yeah, so thank you guys so much.
Everything's descripted.
Yep, everything's descripted. Described. There you go. Described in the description. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for listening or watching or whatever you are doing. We will see you guys next week on Wednesday at 12 p.m. EST. Every Wednesday, you know what I mean? This is a weekly occurrence. Live on Twitch, and then it'll be live shortly after, hopefully, on other platforms. But yeah, so we will see you guys next time. Peace.